So they have given this chart in which they want setup of hydroponics, in which they have to build their own setup. Okay, so I basically wanted to ask that how many of you want to know about basics of hydroponics, or directly we can switch to setup. I need a response from you all.
Yeah, hi. First of all, thanks for this link. I'm quite very new to this,
Okay.
so to speak, field.
Okay.
So maybe I missed the previous webinar.
Okay.
So this is the first webinar I'm attending. So
Hmm.
I would really appreciate if everybody is okay. We can just look into the basics of hydroponics
Okay,
if time
it will
permits.
take hardly 15 to 20 minutes or 25 minutes maximum to just brief about the hydroponic. If you all are comfortable in it, then we'll start with the basic. I'll just brief it, like,
Basics.
yeah, because I don't go in deep of history of hydroponics and why you have to do it and all. We'll just brief about hydroponics. Everyone is comfortable with start with
Yeah,
Yes.
basics of
please.
hydroponics. Okay, secondly, I wanted to ask, you want what language you want, like English or Hindi, or
English.
English
Uh,
it is comfortable, like both English and
English
Hindi.
should be comfortable for everybody, I believe.
English will do.
English will do. Okay. Two, you can just type in your chat box English, or those who want English just type English, and the person who are comfortable with Hindi, they can they don't need to text anything. Okay, 3 4 people are there who want English. Okay. Okay. Okay, we'll keep it in English as well as somehow English, because someone also saying both are fine. So we'll keep in both, but maximum it will be English. Okay.
Done.
Okay. So see, we are starting with it. English will be better. Hindi. Okay. 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 No issue. Okay. Okay, sir. Okay. Okay. English is better. We'll go for English. Okay. Huh. So we'll be talking about how exactly the plant grow. The plant grows. We have already studied in our school times that plant grow using photosynthesis, sunlight and chlorophyll. The leaves need chlorophyll, and the carbon
Hello.
dioxide and hello.
Yeah, I would like you to request, like, how many of them do
Yeah,
understand Hindi
mute.
or English?
Uh-huh.
That would make it simple.
Okay.
So it would go around and everybody could understand what is going on.
Okay. So what you are suggesting? I should go with English.
Yeah, both the languages, or if you ask the other members as well, if there's anybody who wants in Hindi,
Hmm.
so it could be you can mix of language.
Yeah,
You
I
can
can
say.
see delivering in Hindi is comfortable. Why? As in the presentation is in English as well. So those who have slight problem in Hindi, not getting to know about English and all, they can read the presentation. No issue. If any,
Okay.
Or
like,
just go ahead with the webinar. If
yeah,
anyone has any query,
yeah,
he will ask.
they can resolve it
I
at the
think we
last.
have discussed too much
Yes, yes,
about the
yes, of
language
course,
now.
of course, of
Yes,
course.
yes, yes, yes,
Okay,
yes. Thank you, sir.
I request every participant to just mute their call, so that they don't have any disturbance during the webinar.
Yes, yes, sir. Thank you so much.
During the question and answer session, you can unmute, no issue.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, sir.
Okay. So this was all about photosynthesis. We everyone know how photosynthesis work. Sunlight, leaves, and all. We have that bit of knowledge. So we'll switch to hydroponics. What is hydroponics? So hydroponics is a method of growing plant without using soil. Means there is no connection between soil and plant. We don't use any soil. That's why the hydroponics is a science of cultivating a plant without using soil. So in this technique, instead of mineral water, the mineral and nutrient is mixed in the water, and the plant absorb sufficient amount of nutrient to like grow to grow more effectively and efficiently. So hydroponic is not an expert term. Everyone who is a home grower or any hobbyist or who is going commercially, like commercially growing and selling its organic produce, they can adopt hydroponic. It is not binded that those who are a farmer, those who are from farmer background, or those who have big commercial farm, they can only adopt hydroponic. There is no limitation in hydroponic. Even home grower can adopt hydroponic and grow. Then secondly, as I have told, water and other nutrient is being provided to the plant, which is very much essential as in case of hydroponics. Because since we are not using soil to grow the plant, so therefore we need some nutrient. We everyone know that whenever we sow a seed in a land, from the earth crust, from our mother earth, there are n number of primary, secondary, and micronutrient which are present in our soil, already present in our soil. Those nutrient are automatically being transferred using a capillary action through plant root to different parts of plant, like leaves, stems, and all. But in case of hydroponic, this is not so. As in, we are not using soil, there is no connection between the soil, so we need to provide some nutrient. So that's why this is an art of cultivating without using soil. Then next, I wanted to explain that hydroponic is not limited to a big farm, a big cultivation, or as in making a big poly house and cultivating a crop. You can even grow crop hydroponically in your kitchen, as you can see here. This is a setup of kitchen, and they have installed a small hydroponic setup in beside their kitchen. Then basically we come upon what motivate to do hydroponic. Like, there are farmer, those who are cultivating crop organically as well as inorganically, whatever they are cultivating, farmer. So what exactly motivate us to switch from traditional farming to hydroponic farming? So this is, as we know, there is an increase in urbanization. People are building flats, offices, road construction, highways, and all. So which decreases the land, and these land are being replaced by tall buildings. Then secondly, as there are less number of land available, and the fertile land reduces, so farmer are forced to introduce more pesticides, more insecticides in their plant, so to increase their productivity. In return, what we get is poisonous vegetable, adulterated food, adulterated vegetables and fruit, which we eventually eat, which increases deadful diseases like kidney, lungs failure, and cancer. So to provide and the main gist of adopting hydroponic is we have to provide sufficient amount of food grain to every people living in this world. As population has been increasing rapidly, there is lack of food, that there is lack of organic food available in the market. Not completely organic, but good quality of food available in the market. So soilless farming is a solution for this. This what we have discussed. Then secondly, we have some advantages, like growing some crops are like lettuce, basils. These are some medicinal herbs and green leafy vegetables. They have their own nutritional value. They have their own nutritional importance. Like listed here, they improve the metabolism. They prevent growth, greater source of vitamin K and A, reduce the risk of blood pressure and diabetes, etc. So these are some advantages of cultivating an exotic vegetable using hydroponic. Now, how hydroponic work? So we maintain a control environment wherein we maintain the temperature and pH by balancing the temperature, pH, and we'll be discussing nutrient in later slides. I'm just discussing about temperature and pH. More focus is on temperature right now, which is what I was discussing, this one. So hydroponic system works allow minute control over the environment, condition, and temperature of the pH balance, and it is exposed to nutrient. As in picture, you can visualize, this is the plant, this is something called as a system. We could for initial stage, we just assume it as a container or any sort of box which will accommodate some kind of liquid without leakage. Okay, then third one is nutrient inside it, and a plant. The root of the plant is dipped inside the nutrient. That's it. This is the complete setup of hydroponic system. Then we have discussed this all type of hydroponic method in detail in previous seminar, which was deep water culture, aeroponic, weak system, NFT, even flow, and drip irrigation. In this seminar, we'll be focusing on three major setup, which is most popularly used in most of the hydroponic system in the world. So the first one is NFT setup. NFT setup is something like what you can visualize in this picture. This is the most efficient and most best performing system available in hydroponic setup. Moreover, those who are those who have a capacity of producing greater than 150 planter, like they have a capacity of cultivating 300 400 planters, they always adopt an NFT system, because the setup cost as compared to other system is comparatively lesser in case of NFT system. Like, and it is most efficient, as I have told. The ranging of the planter is 15 to 150 per unit. Per unit means the commercial setup, the commercial farm consists of n number of units. Like there might be 10 units, 14 unit, 20 unit. So each unit may consist of 15 to 150 planter. Then why it is more efficient and more dynamic? Because each and every type of leafy vegetable, medicinal herb can be easily grown in this kind of setup. As in the presentation, you can see broccoli, cabbage, cauliflower, lettuce, coriander, palak, basils, strawberries. These all plant can be cultivated. Then second is raft system. This is the most simplest kind of system, in which you can notice this is a complete tank type of arrangement. Inside the tank, entire nutrient is being filled, and some kind of air pump is inserted inside it to regulate the oxygen level, to give sufficient amount of oxygen to the nutrient. And the person which like this sheet, the sheet which the person is holding, this sheet is called as raft. It is not a kind of any scientific name, just it is given that raft is kind of, it is given like a part. It is a raft, that's why it is called as a raft system. In this raft, n number of holes are there at the top, where each and every net pot is accommodated. So it is very compact, fast growing, and 2 to 12 planters spacing. Then next, is aeroponic, aero tower system. This is a vertical kind of aeroponic system in which you can grow all kind of vegetable herbs. The main advantage of this kind of setup is you can grow 32 planters in a very small area of one square meter. As you can notice from the base, this is approximately one square meter, and in vertical system you can accommodate approximately minimum 32 planter in one setup. And you can see the image here how green leafy vegetable is being cultivated here. So this kind of system is very much adopted by home growers, like home growers, kitchen, hotels, any kind of offices. This kind of setup is being commonly used. Most of the commercial farm grower don't adopt aero tower. They go for raft system and NFT system. Then secondly, we'll be discussing about a setup of hydroponic. So is everyone comfortable with the basics?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah,
Yes, yes.
like it is a short basic. If you
Yes.
want to learn more about basic, or you have to know what exactly was in previous webinar, you can just go to our YouTube channel, Nagpur Hydroponics. Just search Nagpur Hydroponics. You can find out the previous webinar. So there you can see all basic details like history of hydroponics, why and how, and everything. Now we'll be focusing more on setup. This is the first phase of the setup. Okay, okay. Thank you. Someone is unmuted. Okay, thank you, sir. Again, there is some disturbance. Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you. Uh-huh. So here as we have discussed, like how hydroponic works. So here also we need water plus nutrient inside the hydroponic system. Root should be submerged inside the nutrient. It should not be hanging over. Root should be submerged inside the nutrient so that plant can drink sufficient amount of nutrient and water whenever it is needed. Then nextly, the root should get sufficient amount of oxygen. So for providing the amount of oxygen, what will provide is an air pump inside a nutrient tank, which will continuously bubble the air suck from the atmosphere. Then almost any plant can be grown, leafies and vegetable. Then basic approach towards going into hydroponic is either you buy or build a hydroponic setup, a small setup, grow sapling. Even you can buy sapling from your nursery. Go to the nearest nursery. They'll provide you the sapling at nominal 5 rupees or 10 rupees each. Transfer this sapling to the hydroponic system. When we need to transfer the sapling to the hydroponic system, I'll be discussing later. Like there is a criteria that two true leaves should be formed. Approximately it should be 2 inch in height, and you should notice 2 to 3 leaves. Then you need to transfer it to the hydroponic system. Then make a nutrient solution. Occasionally top up the hydroponic system. It will take approximately 2 minutes, and like you have to change the entire water inside your tank in the duration of 5 to 8 hours. Okay, this was all about the short introduction, what you exactly wanted to do in small setup. Then there are two ways to do hydroponics. One is in coco peat bed, another is in hydroponic. Coco peat bed is like we usually say it as soilless farming, wherein we don't use soil, but we cultivate our plant in coco peat. Coco peat, what is coco peat? I'll explain it in further slide. Then this kind of, we'll be discussing the first one, like hydroponic in coco peat bed. It is the simplest one, and it is better to cultivate in coco peat rather in soil, because the cultivation rate of the plant is slightly faster and better slightly faster and better as compared to soil farming. And in hydroponic setup, it is faster and better as compared to coco peat bed farming. So if we go in a if we go in an increasing order, so soil farming give lesser productivity, coco peat, then third one is hydroponic setup. Audio is not visible or what? Can't hear you. Hello?
Yeah, you broke in between, I believe, around 2-3 minutes, and your I mean, the screen is not. We can't see the screen, or at least I from my side I can't.
None of us can see.
None of us.
Yes, yes.
Now my voice is audible or what?
Yes.
And
Yes.
slide is also audible.
Yeah,
Slide is
voice is
also
audible.
visible.
Yes, yes.
Mm,
No, it's coming
But
and
I think
going.
so you should go back a bit.
no, for me, I'm not able to see
It's
the
coming and
slides.
going.
Now it is visible.
Yes, right. But I think so
Yeah.
you should go back a bit. Previous slides.
Okay.
No, the last one I heard was a 2-inch height and at least 2 to 3 leaves of
Yes.
samplings to
Yeah.
be
Same.
put on the.
Yeah.
That was
That's
the last bit I heard.
Same.
this one. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. So you need to transfer the sapling into the hydroponic system when you get 2 to 3 true leaf. Like, we don't put a net pot directly inside a hydroponic system. Directly insert a coco pit inside a net pot and then sow seed inside the hydroponic system. This is not the way to cultivate crop hydroponically. So the best method is take a sapling from a nursery. Your plant height should be approximately 2 inch, and you should get approx 3 to 4 true leaves. Then you need to transfer it into your hydroponic system. Then make a nutrient solution, top up occasionally whenever you get a decrease in pH. Wherever you get a decrease in pH, top up your nutrient and change entire nutrient solution in a span of 5 to 8 weeks. Then there are two ways to do soilless culture. Soilless farming can be done in two ways. One is using a coco peat bed, which is called as soilless farming using coco peat, and second one is hydroponically, grow in hydroponically. So we'll be discussing the first one and later we'll be discussing the second one. So hydroponically, coco peat is the very simplest form of hydroponics, wherein we use a coco peat to cultivate our crop. Like how we'll be doing using a coco peat, we'll be seeing in the further slide. Just I need to tell that coco peat cultivation is better than soil, and hydroponic system is better than coco peat. Okay, so this is the method. We are discussing about soilless farming using coco peat, entire coco peat. Okay, so what is the method to do this? Fill the grow bag or a pot using a coco peat. Entirely use coco peat and fill your grow bag and pot. You should have a drain hole at the bottom to drain out excess nutrient or water whenever you supply from the top. Sow the seed. The depth of the seed depend upon the size of your seed. If the size of the seed is very tiny, you need to insert a seed approximately 10 mm inside, like 1 centimeter deep. Then place it in the sun. Then sapling should be ready in 4 to 5 days. Put the nutrient solution in the coco peat and all, it is ready. This is how it works. Like what you have to do is take a pot, or you can use a grow bag. Grow bags are available in the market. Take a pot, fill it with coco peat, sow the seed, wait for 4 to 5 days so that the seed will germinate, and further repeat the nutrient after 10 to 12 days. Repeat the nutrients in a large size container. You have to repeat the nutrient in 6 to 7 days. In an extra large size container or grow bag, you need to repeat the nutrient in 3 to 4 days. As I have discussed, very much important, sow the seed, put the nutrient, let the sapling grow 2-inch tall. Then half strength nutrient you need to use in coco peat. Like we usually use full strength nutrient in case of hydroponics, wherein we cultivate plant using entirely water. But here in coco peat we need to use half strength nutrient. What is half strength nutrient and what is full strength nutrient? This we'll be discussing when we take a complete nutrient session, wherein we'll be providing some recipe as well of nutrient solution to you all. Therein we'll be discussing about half strength nutrient and full strength nutrient. For just understanding about it, I need to explain that we are taking a full dose in hydroponic system, and in coco peat cultivation using coco peat, we are using a half dose, like 50% dose. The most favorable advantage of using soilless farming using coco peat is even you can grow crop in hot summer as well easily. There is a disadvantage of hydroponic crop hydroponically, like cultivating in NFT system, that is in hot summer usually your plant shows some lack of deficiency kind of thing, deficiency, as in the sun rays get trapped, and algae formation and all. So in soilless farming using coco peat, you can even grow in hot summer as well. So these are some of the pictures of cultivating basils. Basil is a medicinal herb. I have also used a normal container wherein we have used a coco peat, and you can notice the growth depending upon week, after 2 weeks, after 4 weeks, after 7 weeks, how the plant is growing. These are some of the photographs of tomatoes, spinach. So what you can grow you can grow vegetables, you can grow flowers, you can grow herbs. There is no doubt in it. You can grow anything using coco peat. Then what is exactly a coco peat? Coco peat is a coco coir. It is a tiny, since 20 minute I'm using a coco peat and coco peat, but there might be someone, most of the people know about what is exactly coco peat, but if anyone here in this presentation don't know about coco peat, I'll just brief it about what is coco peat. So coco peat is a coconut coir. Coconut coir means a husk of a coconut which is breaked into tiny pieces, and this coco peat is very cheaply available in your nearest nursery, seedling fertilizer shop, and nearby flowering shop and all. The main thing is they do not have any kind of nutrient inside it. Coco peat do not have any kind of nutrient inside it. It is just a coconut coir. Simply coconut coir. Why we are using a coco peat is because coco peat has an added advantage of absorbing moisture for a longer period of time. So it absorbs plenty amount of moisture. So that's why we are using coco peat. Some coco peats are available in market. They are like pH neutral, high porous, which in turn give added advantage to your crop. And you can also reuse this coco peat whenever you have needed. There is no any foundation in it that you have to use coco peat for once. You can wash it and you can use it again. This is a block which you got from nursery store or any agri shop. This you have to dip inside a water, soak, keep it at around 2 to 3 hours for soaking, and later what you get is this coco peat tiny particles which you can directly use to sow your seed. So this was all about the first one, how to grow using a coco peat. The second one is hydroponic setup. As in, most of the people were waiting for this one to come. Like most of people know how to grow using coco peat, but hydroponically how we can build our own setup. Most of the people were waiting for this. So here it is. In a hydroponic setup, we have some constraint, like we need to support the plant, we need to supply solution which contains water plus nutrient, sufficient amount of air should be provided, and only leaves should get sun, or you can use artificial light using grow lights are available in market, which we can use if you have to grow hydroponic crop indoor. So this is the method how we approach towards cultivating crop hydroponically. So this is basically a coconut block which is readily available in market. You can use a coco peat tray as well. So you need to sow this, you need to keep this inside a water container. These coconut block will absorb the water, sufficient amount of water, and it will enlarge in this size, as you can see. After this coconut block have absorbed sufficient amount of moisture and it is enlarged in a big size, later you have to sow seed inside it, and then after getting true leaf, as I have told, after getting true leaf, you need to transplant it into a NFT setup. Now why I have shown this, the person is I'm washing here, because some NFT setup use clay balls. Like there are some growing medium available in the market. One is coco peat, which is widely used. Second one is this Oasis cube. Third one is clay ball. So that's why I'm washing here. The roots have been washed to insert clay ball inside this net pot and make the plant stable. That's why I'm washing, nothing else. Using clay ball, there is an advantage of using clay ball, that is your new, like your NFT tank. Not NFT tank. Your NFT system is not getting so much of dirt. Like using a coconut a husk, cocoa peat, what usually happened is some amount of cocoa peat drain and stuck inside your NFT system. Using clay ball, this disadvantages of using cocoa peat can be overcome. That's why I'm washing and shown you that you can wash and use uh, clay ball, or you can directly transplant this one. You can directly transplant it into a net pot. Both the method can be used. See, clay ball are being used to support the plant, and it has been transferred into your NFT system. Then here are some examples of small setup. This is using PVC pipe. This is also using PVC pipe. This is a DWC system, and this is NFT channel. So we'll be discussing about how to build this DWC system. As this is a first phase, so in first phase we are discussing about a simple setup which you can build at your home. In second phase, we'll be discussing about how to build a NFT, and in further session we'll be discussing more about it. So this is a setup, small setup, which you can build easily. No need to purchase it from market. You can easily build. Like here, what you can see is you can use a Amul container, which is widely being used to carry milk packet. That also can be used to set up 10 planters. So what basically we need to use is a rectangular container of different sizes. It should normally be 2 feet long, so that you can accommodate at least 7 to 10 or 12 planters in it, because building a setup, you'll invest certain amount of time, like 2 to 4 days you can spend. So the setup should be sufficient enough to hold at least 10 to 15 plants to get a better result. And note that the tank which we are using, like the bottom container which you are using, this bottom container should have approximately 20 to 20 liters of capacity. It should be higher, like you can use 27 to 30 liter also, but the sufficient amount is 20 liters. 20 liters is sufficient enough. Then what you need is a waterproof ply. On the top of the container, you can notice there is a ply available, so you can use that ply, drill that ply, make a hole over the ply using a cutter available in the market. You can purchase a hacksaw cutter, rounded hacksaw cutter, and you can drill it from the top. But then the length of the top which is top cover of the container, should be slightly bigger in size, like 3-inch extra margin should be provided from all 4 surfaces, so that you can it is easy to hold it and place it somewhere else while you are changing, or while you are checking the pH and TDS of the setup. As I have told, you can use a drill or a hacksaw to cut it. Then secondly, you need to use an air pump inside for constantly supplying of oxygen to the nutrient. Then you can even paint the board as such, painting the board is required, because if you are using a transparent board, it is not advisable to use a transparent board like transparent acrylic and all, because we need to restrict the photons or sunlight getting inside the nutrient. Because uh, if uh, if the sunlight or photons get inside the nutrient tank, there is an algae formation inside the tank. If algae formation is there, then you need to rapidly change your nutrient tank. Algae formation is not advisable in hydroponic system. That's why it is recommended that use a tank which have dark color like black color, or you can paint it a you can paint the tank using a black paint. It would be more efficient. So here you can see the diagrammatic image. This is the entire tank. On the top you need to do some hole, and this is a siphon tube which I am using. Siphon tube is like a suction pump. You need to just press over the top. This is a suction head. If you press it 3 to 4 times, automatically the water inside the tank will come out. So this is usually you can get it from aquarium shop. If you go to the aquarium shop and ask for suction pipe, they'll provide you the suction pipe. Or else, if your system is not too heavy, you don't need to purchase this kind of suction pipe. You just hold your tank, and you can easily retop, or you can easily change the nutrient or water inside it. Secondly, you need to give a supply of an air pump. Air pump will be regularly being on inside, and it will be like providing oxygen to the entire tank. You can use this kind of tray which is available in a nursery store or any agriculture store, or else you can use this. You have both the option. What you can grow in it, as I have grown all this flower as well as vegetables, you can grow all this using this DWC system. Okay, so this was all about the sort of system which you can build. The initial one was soil, which uses a coco pit, and second one is small setup which you can build for an initial start of your hydroponic career. Then we have two major parameter which we need to keep in mind. One is TDS calculation and another one is pH. We are providing nutrient inside the tank at
Hello?
what? Hello?
Yeah, I would like to ask you, what do you mean by don't puncture the DWS tank from bottom?
Yes, I need to tell that don't puncture the DWS tank inside the like if you are using where it is, yeah, this one. If you are using this tank, you don't need to
Okay,
provide any drain at the bottom.
okay, okay,
No drain should be provided at the bottom. Like usually what people do is after 5 to 8 weeks we need to change the nutrient. So for making the system easier, what people do is people
okay,
provide a drain from here and insert a tap inside it. Whenever they want to change it, they just open the tap and entire nutrient is being removed, and they top up the water from upside. So that is not
okay.
advisable. Make it complete setup without using a drain. That's why I have
What?
provided a solution for that, that use a siphon tube or a suction pipe.
What's the problem with that actually?
Actually,
If you can.
problem is not much. Like what usually happened is whenever there is an uh, we provide a drain at the bottom. So the coco peat which are dip inside the water, they go and accumulate inside. They actually choke the system.
Okay.
They actually choke from the bottom.
Okay.
That's it. Nothing much difference.
And what about the holes that we do drilling?
Hmm.
And what should be the circumference? Like we
Circumference
have a
depend. Yes, sir. Circumference depend upon the net pot. Net pots are available in market at 2-inch net pot, 3-inch net pot, 5-inch net pot, 6-inch net pot. It depend upon crop what you are growing. If you are using a small crop which will have a whose leaf does not spread much, then you can go for 2-inch. If you are cultivating cabbage, if you are cultivating uh, tomatoes, then 2-inch won't work. You need to go for 4-inch or 5-inch or 6-inch net pot.
Okay. And
The
how
main
does it? Yeah, sorry.
the main gist is your net pot should rigidly support your plant.
Okay. And the next thing is the medium what we are using. As you said, you buy a sapling
Hmm.
with instead of seed.
Hmm.
So generally what I've seen or the videos, just for the reference,
Hmm.
they do plant seeds in rock wool or other medium,
Hmm.
and then they leave it to germinate.
Okay.
So does it shorten the time?
No, you can use directly. Oasis Cube can be replanted in your NFT system. This is kind of a like I am more focused about initial setup of hydroponic. That's why
Okay.
I am telling to use coco peat, because Oasis Cube, using a Oasis Cube, no one from market give you 2 or 3 piece of Oasis Cube.
Okay.
They'll just provide you a complete block of 150 Oasis Cube, which will cost you around 200 or 250. So
Okay.
for initial setup, like who is beginner in hydroponics and need to build a small setup, they won't go for purchasing 200 to 250 rupees of Oasis Cube. That's why you can use Oasis Cube, you can use clay ball, you can use this one coco peat, anything you can use, no issue with it.
Okay. And what difference does it make if we buy directly a sapling
The difference
instead
is
of?
we don't have such experience of cultivating a healthy crop. Like nursery people have more knowledge about cultivating crop. So you'll notice whenever you go for seedling, the seedling which we grow usually have a
Okay.
legginess. Like if 4 to 5 inch, it will go 4 to 5 inch tall, and only 2 to 3 leaves are germinated.
Okay.
Whereas whenever you go to the nursery, you can notice in 1 or 1 and a half inch, you'll notice 4 to 5 leaves.
Yes.
Means healthy. I don't want to say anything about it. Like you will get a healthy crop. Like you will get a healthy seedling. That's it. If you buy from nursery,
That changes
if you
the color.
yeah, if you know how to do seedling, then you can definitely, I recommend to grow your own seedling, because it will cost you hardly 1 rupee or 1.5 1.5 rupees,
Okay.
rather purchasing from outside.
And if we buy a sapling, do we need to wash it, the roots, I suppose?
If the nursery people have used soil, then definitely you
Sir,
have to wash.
we should keep question answer at the last.
Yes,
Let
of
us
course.
complete
Actually,
webinar.
let me complete the session.
Okay. I'm so sorry.
Because just two parameter is remaining, TDS and pH. Then we have a question answer session. You can ask n number of question, whatever you can. Just resuming our session to TDS calculation. So basically we have two parameters. I have got some question in a chat box. I'll take one by one question once I have finished up my session. Okay, TDS calculation. So we have two parameters. One is TDS and one is pH. I'm from the beginning. I am talking about nutrient. You need to mix nutrient inside the water. But at what proportion you have to mix, that will be that we will get from TDS. What is TDS? Like TDS is total dissolved solid. We can measure TDS using two parameters which has been widely used in India. One is ppm, which is parts per million. Another one is EC, that is electrical conductivity. Both is a unit to measure TDS. It is not a method, it is just a unit to measure TDS. So what exactly we take from TDS is it just show amount of salt inside the solution. Higher the TDS, we can so if you use high TDS, your capacity to hold nutrient will be like for higher TDS. If you use a water with higher TDS, the capacity to hold the nutrient will be less. For example, if I am growing X product, if I am growing X amount of product whose recommended TDS is 500 to 900. 500 is during the seedling stage, when I have just taken my net pot and repot in my NFT system. I need to keep my TDS in a range of 500 to 550. This is recommended. Whereas at the initial stage, I am using my water which is at higher TDS of 300 to 350. My target is 550. I am using an initial water of 350. There is only 150 ppm gap which will be accommodated by nutrient, which is highly not recommended, because we need to supply plant sufficient amount of nutrient. If we are providing a water at a higher TDS of 300 to 400 initially, then where is the chance of accommodating the nutrient inside your nutrient tank? That's why always it is advisable not to use a high TDS, use a lower TDS. As I have told, soft water, you need to use a soft water. Nutrients should grow faster and all. The municipal water, like what is a tap water which is available, it is partially treated water. What we get from our local municipal corporation, it is a treated water, whereas you can use an RO water as well. They are soft. They are soft, ranging of around 50 to 100 ppm. Municipal water and RO water, they are all ranging a range of TDS is 50 to 100. So it is advisable to use soft water which has lower TDS. Don't use groundwater. Groundwater in most of the region, it TDS go beyond 1000 to 2000, which is not recommended, or which can't be used in hydroponic system. So that's why here I have shown the formula that TDS of hydroponic solution, TDS of hydroponics nutrient which you are using in the tank, is a summation of TDS due to addition of nutrient and TDS due to hardness of water. Like in research paper, you will find out that lettuce, cabbage, basil, tomato, n number of vegetables, n number of fruit, they have done a research and given a range of TDS to be maintained. Like for tomato, you need to maintain a TDS in between 800 to 400. For lettuce, it would be in the range of 450 to 450 to 750. That's it. So that's why I am telling, when you Google it or whenever you read some research paper, you will find out that tomato, I am growing a tomato in this particular seedling stage, I need to maintain the TDS. So don't usually deduct your hardness of water and maintain the entire nutrient at that particular recommended TDS. Add the water TDS as well. Then usually is pH more important? Yes, definitely pH is important, and we need to keep pH lesser than 6.5. I'll be explaining the theoretical as well as practical range of pH in further slide. Why it is most important is you're using a hard water. If you need to regularly check your pH if you're using a hard water. Hard water means if you're using a TDS of around 150, 120 to 150 to 200, then you have to regularly check the pH. There might be a disturbance in pH. You use your pH calibration. You have maintained your pH at 5.5 to 6.5, like you have maintained your pH at 6, for example, at 8 p.m. At 10 p.m. you'll notice that your pH will shoot up at 8.5 if you're using a hard water. So that's why if you're using if you're using hard water, then check pH continuously. Second, when you have to check pH continuously at a longer duration of time. If some hydroponic solution, if you use the same hydroponic solution for a longer duration of time, like I have recommended that 5 to 8 week is the time where you need to change your nutrient solution. If suppose you have not got a time and it prolonged for 8 to 15 weeks, then regularly you need to monitor your pH, as in your pH will disturb entirely. It will gradually go up and gradually come down. If you're using a big plant, then definitely you need to regularly monitor your pH, because the acid absorption of bigger plant is more, hence they'll absorb the acidic content from the tank. So if we'll be discussing that the best pH range is, as I have told, 5.5 to 6.5, then usually plant like acidic, but alkaline side there is an issue. Plant do not find comfortable when the nutrient solution tends towards alkaline side, means beyond 7, increasing pH beyond 7. That is not that won't make nutrient happy. Too acidic or too alkaline leads to nutrient lockout. Nutrient lockout is a term which is usually used in which the root does not pick nutrient from the tank, as in you can find out if the root is not taking the sufficient amount of nutrient, there won't be a effective growth of your plant, and in turn your leaf will show some symptoms of nutrient deficiency. Either your tip of the leaf will get dried up, or entire leaf will go down. There might be any such symptom if there is a nutrient lockout. So you need to keep your pH at 5.5 to 6.5. This is the chart which shows the acidic side below 7, alkaline side above 7, and this is the neutral. Usually the RO water if we are using an RO water or municipal water, usually they are neutral. They are kept neutral. They are being treated and kept neutral, and it is at approximately 7 or 7.1, or it will be 6.9. So highly recommended is use municipal water or RO water. This is the practical optimum range, 4 to 6.5, but theoretically we go for 5.5 to 6.5. So for home grower, if you have 10 to 12 plants or 20 plants, there is no issue if pH drop below 5.5. There is no such problem in it. You can maintain it at 4 to 6.5. but recommended is 5.5 to 6.5 because the absorption of nutrient is high in this range, 5.5 to 6.5. So usually we get a problem of pH. Like yesterday only during the chat, one of our friend have asked this question, so I have just added up this. Usually what happened is whenever we top up our nutrient and we maintain our pH, so pH goes down usually. So this is due to there is an issue in it. So pH if goes down below 5.5 to 6.5, it is not an issue. Like you can maintain it using some kind of baking soda, adding baking soda inside it. If you are a home grower, for commercial purpose it is not advisable. You need to use some acid form of liquid. The major issue is pH going up. Like as I have told you, being acidic is favorable for our plant, but being on alkaline side is definitely not advisable, or not even we can't function our hydroponic system if our pH goes above 7. So this the high pH is basically due to precipitation of calcium and potassium or magnesium, these kind of primary nutrient which are present in your nutrient. This is just due to the precipitation of calcium, potassium and magnesium. Or more importantly, if you are using a micronutrient of iron, because iron, we usually use iron in our hydroponic system, it may be 12% or 6% we can use. So it basically due to the precipitation of this. So there are like remedies to use. We need to use a strong acid like nitric acid, sulfuric acid, hydrochloric acid. These are usually practiced by expert. Like they are difficult to handle. Like those who have a scientific background, they can go for it. There is no problem in it, but slightly if you get in touch with all acid, as the name suggests, it is acid. So slightly it is difficult to handle, but not if you are if you come from a scientific background, you can handle it, no issue. For home grower, you can use citric acid and vinegar, but using citric acid and vinegar, there are some problem. Like your nutrient, if you maintain the pH, in few hours you'll notice that the pH goes up. Traditionally pH goes up. So for there are many ready-made pH and pH up and pH down solution available in market, which are not too acidic and not too difficult to handle. You can use that, or else you can use nitric acid, sulfuric acid. Usually phosphoric acid is being used for phosphoric acid is used in commercial farm. The commercial farm uses phosphoric acid for maintaining their pH. Then this we have discussed in previous lecture also. What is exactly the recommendation which we suggest if you are developing your own setup? So avoid hi-fi system. Make your hydroponic system simple, because during maintenance you need to clean each and every part. So don't make your system so complicated that you require 1 to 2 days of time to maintain your system. Because meanwhile, if you are maintaining, if your plant, if your NFT system is under maintenance, at particular duration time, your net pot will be exposed to atmosphere, because you need to separate your net pot with your NFT system. So make it simple, avoid hi-fi system, so that you can do maintenance. You can do maintenance around half an hour or 1 hour. This much time should be required. Then the hydroponic system should not get sufficient amount of sun. Like system I am talking about, not leaves, not plant. the system should not get sufficient amount of sunlight because algae formation is a big issue. Large volume capacity, always use a nutrient tank which have a large volume capacity. Then the spacing between two net pots should be large enough. It depends upon the crop which you are using. It should be in the range of 4 inch and all. Air pump should be provided to give sufficient amount of air. Then the system should be so rigid that it could withstand the wind. If there is a wind flow, your system should sustain it. Then drainage should be provided in the system so that you can easily clean your system. Then if there is a frequent light, like electricity is not available frequently, then there might be a problem of dry out. Your air pump won't work for a time, so this won't happen. Then there should be a provision provided for a big plant. Like if you are cultivating tomatoes, then you need to support it from the top. So make your system such that you can provide support to the big plant. Then don't need to check regularly. pH and TDS don't, like if you have maintained your tank right now, don't go after 5 minutes to check TDS and pH. Don't go after 10 minutes to check TDS and pH. This is not highly recommended. Just for an interval of 2 to 3 hours, or even in the morning, afternoon and evening, just 3 times you need to check. Just 3 times you need to check EC, TDS and pH. Plant should be easily accessible. You don't need to use the ladder for initial setup. As in, you are using a ladder, sometime it may happen that your ladder will slip and entirely your setup will fall. So make your setup such that you can easily access it using your hand. Then this is all about, you can join our WhatsApp group. If you have any queries, you can ask there. Like I'll be sharing the feedback form. You can fill up the feedback form. You'll be getting a ebook as well, Quick Start DIY from Nagpur Hydroponics, wherein I have discussed 5 common mistakes which you do while developing a hydroponic system. Then here is a tagline: give a man a meal, feed him once. Teach a man to grow hydroponically, feed him for a life. This is what Nagpur Hydroponics aims to, and that's why we are delivering this kind of free webinars to everyone, so that you can learn and grow your own setup. Try to build your own setup. Like you can ask if any doubt. I'll just read the chat. Air
Yeah.
pump capacity. Yeah, you can ask.
Thank you very much for this. It was very useful from a business perspective.
Yes, sir.
And I would really appreciate all these kind of initiatives which can really bring this particular market or industry to many people around. Thank you for that. So I have a couple of questions. Just a quick one on the flow of water. I know the first one you said, which is like a small pot, I think DTH or DHT. I think there the water will not flow, but whereas when I look at the NFT, the water would be flowing, right? So
Yes.
my basic question is, in the soil, when I compare back to soil holds the nutrients, which means they are quite stagnant.
Yes.
So in NFT, the water is flowing,
Yes.
in my understanding. So how effective would be the root to observe the nutrients which we are missing
Okay,
out?
I got your question. See, if you go and check the pH of the soil will differ. It won't be ranging at 5.5 to 6.5. Why I am more focusing about maintaining your pH at 5.5 to 6.5? Because in this range, your root, like plant root, absorb maximum amount of nutrient from the tank. Like if it is flowing as well, it will moisturize your white root. and due to capillary action, drop by drop, it is being transferred to the top of the plant. Whereas in soil, the pH is not being maintained, so the capillary action takes more time as compared to hydroponic setup.
Okay.
Got
that.
it?
Thank you. Yeah. The second
Hello.
one,
Hello.
Yes, sir.
This is Yogesh Salvi speaking from Pune.
Pune.
I would like to ask about the TDS, the groundwater TDS. Obviously, when we add nutrients like NPK,
Hmm.
the TDS
NPK
will go
what?
high. But
What NPK? मतलब, are you using
nit-
triple 19?
nitrogen, yeah, nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium.
Okay.
So the TDS, TDS will go up. But what about the groundwater you were talking about? That is 1,000 to 2,000. So how will we get it down?
You can't get it down. You need to supply that water inside your RO water. It will
Okay.
reduce your TDS to 100 to 150. Then you can use it. You can't use in hydroponic setup. If your TDS is going above 200, you can't use in it your hydroponic setup.
Okay. Okay. And the
Or
softener.
else you can use it. There is no issue. If 200 to 250 is your TDS, you can use. But what problem you need to face is you need to change your nutrient weekly.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
and on the nutrient perspective, just on the basics question,
Hmm?
we are talking about giving better food for the world. So, and we are also talking about organic. So, my question is regarding the chemical aspect of the nutrient itself. So, when we are getting the different the nutrients which you said as primary, secondary, and
Hmm?
then when we mix it up in the water, my curiosity on how much organic is the nutrient that we are trying to get and then mix it in the water.
Uh, Actually, I didn't get what you exactly wanted to ask.
In the we do talk about organic farming, right? So we say we shouldn't add more chemicals to the plants and so forth.
Yeah.
But then on the similar hand, in the hydroponics, we are saying that in the water we need to add the nutrients, yeah, the potassium and so forth, whatever that we discussed. So adding that chemical into the water, how much organic is that?
No, it is
Am I
not
clear?
actually organic. If you are using NPK, if you are using uh, the normal water soluble fertilizer which is available in market, I won't say that it is 100% organic.
Hmm.
Hydroponic is not 100% organic. If anyone, any consultancy, any during any webinar is speaking about hydroponics is 100% organic, it is not. You are using NPK, you are using calcium, magnesium, phosphorus inside it, even iron and all in a chelated form. So it is not completely organic. For making it organic, I haven't tried organic fertilizer yet in hydroponic. There are n number of organic fertilizers available which you can use and try. But
Okay.
as per my knowledge, using like organic fertilizer won't work much in hydroponic.
Okay.
but
Okay.
it is for sure that if you are cultivating it in a controlled environment, closed poly house, it is far more better as compared to traditional one. Because
Hmm.
traditionally
Hmm.
what you are doing is, traditionally you are continuously spraying insecticide, pesticide at a duration of 3 to 5 hours. The farmer, what usually they do is they continuously spray insecticide, pesticide whenever they have a mood.
Hmm. Hmm.
But rather in hydroponic, whenever there is a problem in your plant, if there is a leaf miner, if your plant is getting weak, if your plant is not happy, at that particular time you just manipulate the nutrient which is being sucked by root. Whereas
Hmm.
in traditional,
Hmm.
what they do is this: they spray these harmful pesticide and insecticide over the leaf.
Okay.
which make it very dangerous and cancerous for all of us.
And with respect to the mixture of nutrients to the water, I believe those are like few drops in a particular place of the overall tank. So how do we ensure that the nutrients mix equally in the, let's say if it is 30 liters tank, for example,
Yes.
how do the 3 or 4 droplets, for example, mix equally against the 30 liters? Should we sort of mix it up,
No,
or
it is
the
water soluble. It is if you are purchasing a water soluble nutrient, if you insert a single drop within approximately 30 to 47, it is evenly distributed
okay? So
because it
throughout
is a
the
water
particular
soluble. Yes, but you need to purchase a water soluble fertilizer from market. That is the main issue. That is the main, yeah, gist of it. And with a good brand company should be a best option.
okay.
You have
Hello.
some few questions. Yes, sir.
Sir, what I'm saying is, we are talking about organic or inorganic. As it is the plants which absorb the nutrients through microorganisms in the soil or what, they die and then they are converted into inorganic form. So here it is also inorganic kind of a thing.
No,
So, but
actually,
in a controlled manner.
no. Inorganic crop is not categorized using suction of nutrient from earth crust. Inorganic or cancerous vegetable is due to the excessive use of pesticide which the farmer are spraying from
Okay.
over the leaf. That makes it
Hello.
cancerous.
Yeah, I do.
Earth crust. The nutrient which is sucked from the earth crust is not making a vegetable inorganic.
Yeah, I got your point, but what I'm saying is, as it the plants will absorb the nutrients in organic form.
That we
Yes.
how we can judge it, like we don't have any sort of instrument available wherein we could insert a leaf and just check it is organic or inorganic. We can't do it. Yeah, what we can do is, as a farmer, as a entrepreneur approaching towards hydroponic, we have to avoid spraying insecticide and
Pesticide.
pesticide. Okay,
Yes.
next I'll take the question from chat box. Milan has written air pump capacity. Air pump capacity depend upon how your tank is like the bigger capacity tank, you need to use a big size of air pump, which is this air pump is usually available in aquarium shop.
Aquarium.
Aquarium shop easily it is available. You can have question and answer session at the end. Where to get air pump? You can get it from aquarium shop. Can we please keep the yes, okay. If cocoa is added in net pot, is the cocoa will mix with nutrient or how to? Cocoa won't mix with nutrient. Just you need to spray the nutrient over the cocoa. It will absorb that nutrient for a prolonged 5 to 6 hours. Mostly for a longer time as well. I am talking about in summer. The cocoa will absorb the nutrient for 5 to 6 hours. How about EC meter? EC meter are available, but we'll be taking a session in EC meter as well, because usually people purchase EC meter from Amazon, and later what happened is after a few weeks their EC meter or TDS meter won't work. So I don't recommend, but I'll just tell something about TDS, how to purchase, get a warranty one, or else you can use normal one as well. Where to buy nutrient? Any recommendation company? No, sir, I can't give any recommendation for nutrient. But I can just suggest to build your own nutrient. You can build it. We'll be taking this session in upcoming webinars, or rather, I'll be providing you some home recipe which you can directly use to your soilless farming. How about EC in Gujarat? If any need, then I can supply. Okay. Nagpur, could you please share the slide with us? I have provided the link for the feedback form. You just fill the feedback form. I'll get your email ID, or else if you have joined our WhatsApp group, then I'll be sharing all sort of ebook as well over there. We share today's okay. How much time of air pump should be given for around 18 to 20 planter? And recommended is you need to run air pump continuously 24 into 7. But for if you need to save some electricity for in between morning and afternoon and evening, you can switch off for 1 or 2 hours, no issue. But recommended is 24 into 7 should run, because you don't know exactly when your nutrient tank have less amount of oxygen inside it. So better to run it for continuous 24 into 7. It won't cost you much, as the wattage of air pump is lower. You can get 15 watt, 20 watt, or 25 watt as well, or even 5 watt and 3 watt are also available air pumps. NPK 41830 is not available easily in market. Yes, it is not available because it is outside one, like usually outside people have those. But there are few like seller who blend it and provide you 418 and 38. They provide you blend in a blended form. What causes green algae in coco peat or perlite in hydroponic? What is the solution? Solution is you are using the nutrient which you are using is making it difficult. The nutrient which you are using is generating the algae formation inside it. Better to remove it, like or else what you have done is you have used that coco peat for 2 or 3 cycle of plantation. You need to wash it once you have harvested the crop. You need to wash your coco peat, buffered it, and then you need to use it for a second harvest. Coco peat is better to use for hydroponic. Definitely coco peat is very cheap, it is easily available, so you better option is you can use coco peat. Okay, any further question?
So I would like to request you about the micronutrients as well. We can have a webinar on that.
Yes, of course. I'll be taking a complete webinar on nutrient, like discussing about primary, secondary, and micronutrient. I am planning it too. Like I need some time to make a good presentation on it. The request is just stay in our WhatsApp group. You'll be getting series of webinar there.
Yes, I'm there.
Have used it only once.
Yes, sir.
Then if you have used that coco peat only once, then the problem would be you have used a low quality coco peat. Like usually coco peats are of different quality, so you have used a very low quality coco peat, or rather it might be there might be two reasons. You have used a low quality coco peat, or secondly you have used the nutrient which is of very low quality.
How do we know which is the good coco peat? Like, is there any
Yes, actually
definition?
buffering of coco peat is there. You need to just check. What you do is, if you purchase a coco peat from market, you come at home, take 3 parts of water, coco peat, mix it in the
Okay.
water, and check the TDS. If the TDS comes around 100 to 120, 100 to 140, then it is a good quality coco peat. If the TDS is going up at around 200, 250, 300, 400, 450, then that coco peat is sheerly for waste. It is a waste coco
Oh,
peat. You rather
okay.
throw it in the
Just
dustbin.
but we just now discussed cocoa peat does not absorb any nutrients. So
Actually,
my
actually, the major problem is these coco peat is usually come from southern side. The most manufacturers are there because coconut is highly cultivated there. So what is this? Is a cocoa peat is a completely decomposed form of cocoa coir. It is being it is kept inside the sand to decompose it. When it is kept inside the sand, what happened is it absorbs entire sand or sodium or calcium inside it, and that sodium in turns give you the higher TDS.
So
The
it's
major
not
problem is this.
the water that we mix up, the 3:1 that you mentioned.
Yeah.
So it's not the TDS of the water that
No,
we are
you have to
mixing
check.
up will.
You have to check the TDS of water initially. Like you have checked the water
Okay.
of 100, and later what you are getting. The difference is like you shouldn't get 100. What I have tell you that 100 to 400 increase.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and we did also talk about the temperature on the start of the slide. So I believe you are talking about the temperature of the environment and not the temperature of the water, the
Yes.
system that you are.
Sometimes you need to maintain the temperature of nutrient as well. There is a normal jugaad of inserting a ice cube inside your tank. Whenever the
Okay.
water temperature nutrient temperature is rise above 40 42, like usually there it happens whenever 37 to 38 degree rise in temperature. So your nutrient tank also rise up to 36 37. When it is so, you need to insert a entire ice block inside your nutrient tank to lower the nutrient, because
So what is the advisable range?
recommended range is 25 to 28. And this temperature depends upon which crop you are growing. For on an average it is 23 to 28, I would say. 23 to 26 it would be. 28 is also higher side. 23 to 26 is comfortable range.
So for depending on the crop, is there any table to also say
Yes, I
what sort
have.
of crop?
I have the table. I'll be sharing it. Just fill the feedback form. I'll get your email IDs.
Yeah, sure.
I'll be sharing
Sure.
the I'll be sharing critical points to remember while designing. Different veggies and fruit require TDS and what temperature they required and what pH they required. Thirdly, a ebook, and fourth we have one more PDF I have. I'll be sharing all those 4 PDFs.
Okay, great. You did mention about reading some research papers and other stuff. So where is this? So I mean, where
I'll
is this a
provide you
good
the
place
link.
for us to?
I'll provide you the
Okay.
link where I have collected some of the ebooks, foreign authors ebook. But
Okay.
reading all those ebook won't work much. What I recommend is build a small setup of 10 to 12 planter and
Okay.
experiment it. Reading n number of book won't help you much. Rather, if you start experimenting, that will give you more benefit. So make a system, make a
Okay.
small setup, and just go for it.
Okay. Okay. Sure. Got that.
I have used. Then cocoa peat can be used for normal gardening. Yes, of course, it can be used for normal gardening. Even you can grow flowers in cocoa peat. We have a short webinar on microgreen as well. We have a microgreen expert as well here in this session. It is my definitely she is my teammate Ankita. She'll be discussing about microgreen. So microgreen also you can use growing microgreen in cocoa peat. And do you need to spray pesticide anything even if you using cocoa peat for normal backyard? Yes, you need to. No. Pesticide only when there is a problem in your plant. If there is a problem in your plant, then only you have to use pesticide and insecticide. Unnecessary, you don't need to spray pesticide and insecticide. Does directly sun to hydroponic play a role in algae? Yes, definitely it will. That's why I'm saying hydroponic. The question from Jennifer is, does direct sunlight to hydroponic system will affect your hydroponic for formation of algae. Yes, definitely. That's why in entire webinar I am saying only your plant or leaf should get enough sunlight. Your system should not get sunlight. You can paint your system, or rather you can use a entire black tank and all. Okay, so we'll
There is one question from my side.
yes sir.
Simple. Yes, sir. Actually, I want to set up a hydroponic system for my livestock feeding my livestock. So, is
Hmm.
there any special kind of setup used for that, or we have to do this just same like we
What
do
what what you need to
what
grow
is
there? Like what do you
like
want to do?
corn, wheat.
Corn and wheat. Like for wheat hydroponic setup, you can go for soilless farming. People are
Right.
cultivating fooder crops like chara and all what they use to
Yes, yes,
provide.
yes.
Yes, they are using that, and they are they are
Not.
getting a better
I
now.
don't want to grow it. I don't want it to grow fully, just for
Yes,
10 to
definitely you
12
can.
centimeters.
Yes, definitely you
So,
can
is there
go
any
for it. No
any
specific.
special instructions for that?
Nothing. No special. Just go for simple soilless
Because
farming.
okay, when I tried it. Sometimes the fungus start to grow there. So, what may be the problem?
You can share me the picture on the WhatsApp group. Then
Okay,
I
sir.
could then I
Okay,
could
no issues.
suggest a better option for that.
Okay, okay, okay. Actually, I don't have photos right now, so I will just try one more batch. Then I will just send you the photos.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Canada is saying is plant will survive if we transfer from soil to hydroponic. Actually, sometime it works whenever you supply transfer it from soil to hydroponic. The main is you have to wash the root thoroughly. There won't be any soil form particle inside it, because if there is a soil, it will attract the algae. If there is small amount of soil even, it will attract the algae and your hydroponic setup will be like in a problematic situation. So that's why you need to thoroughly wash it, or better seedlings are nowadays seedling nursery are producing their seedling in coco pit. So you need to visit 2-3 nurseries and you'll get that you get the seedling in coco pit only. Okay. Uh, as time is running, so I request Ankita to unmute his mic and just give a brief introduction about microgreen. Ankita, are you ready? Hello.
Hello,
Yes.
hello. Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Yes.
Okay. So, hello everyone. I'm Ankita from Nagpur Hydroponics. So, hope you guys are clear with the concept of hydroponics. So, as there is, since from 1 hour we are attending it, I will not take much time. I will just brief you about microgreens for just 2 minutes. So there is one more concept in urban farming, which is a microgreens. Some of you might have heard about it. So I'm going to brief you for it. Uh, so basically, microgreens are a growth stage between the freshly germinated sprouts and established plant. Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Yes, you are.
Yes.
Yes. Just a second. I Yeah. So basically, microgreens are the stage of the plant which comes after the sprouting stage. The two cotyledon leaves which will see on stem, and after that, two true leaves we are just grown on stem, and that is the actual stage of, we can call it a microgreens, and that's how the micro word is comes into the picture. So at that stage of the plant growth, we can have a maximum amount of vitamins, minerals, and phenol content in the microgreens. So, and that's why it is called as the superfood. Yeah, and we can see in this pic that we are uh, that small roots, and this only for the two leaves are there. And yes, it has 2 to 3 inch height, not more than that, which is recommended. So it has a short growth cycle also. After the sprouting stage, it can grow within a 8 to 10 days, not more than that. So yes, and yes, as I've already discussed, it is a main source of vitamins and minerals. It also acts as an antioxidant to our body, so it has a many health benefits. Yeah, and how we can grow microgreens and what is the requirement? So yes, we have commercial setup, but initially we can grow it in a small tray, or using coco peat and water. Along with it, uh, along with the coco peat, some different contents are there, like vermicompost, perlite, vermiculite. But for the home growers, it is enough to use coco peat and water to grow microgreens. So in next slide, we can see some important and easily available microgreens, like red amaranthus, beetroot, broccoli, fenugreek, and red cabbage, which has a high nutrient value, and these all are the high source of phenol. So it is easily available, and home growers also can grow it in an easy manner. And yes, microgreens. Yes, we are done with growing microgreens. So what to do next? How can it be in edible form? So we can have many delicious salad recipes from which for their microgreens are used, and also it is used for the garnishing. We might have heard about that wheatgrass juice, which has a good cancerous property, which has a good anti-cancerous property. So this is also a microgreen, and we can use it for our health benefit. So randomly we can grow microgreens at home. There is no specific requirement of high sunlight or something else. It's just we can grow it in our indoor rooms and all. So in next slide, we can see some setups over there, that is simply in a pot or a tray, or which is one setup is there, hanging on wall. We can have that setup. And for the commercial growth, we can have a control environment setup, which we can see in the second image. That is, it has uh, all with it has lighting arrangement and all. So this control environment we need for the faster growth and nutrients, better nutrient proportion. So if we want to grow commercially, so will require some this kind of setups. So yes, and there is no more requirement for it. And yes, this business also we can run parallelly with the hydroponics business. So and the targeting audience are also same. So we can think to go commercially for the microgreens also with the hydroponics. So this is all about briefing of microgreens. Just kindly share your feedback if you are interested to go commercially or you want to know more about it, and just we can have another session on it. So thank you.
Thank you, Ankita.
Yeah.
if if you have any queries, like I have given a feedback form, I have given a link for a feedback form. You can give a feedback over there. Like, this session was entirely dependent upon what feedback I have got from other people. I have designed the session depending upon the feedback, so your feedback is very much important for us to design our further upcoming sessions. So I have shared the link in a chat box, as well as I will share the link on WhatsApp. So all are requested to just give your valuable feedback. We have our YouTube channel as well, Nagpur Hydroponic. If you'll search Nagpur Hydroponic on Facebook, we have our Facebook page. Even in Google, if you search Nagpur Hydroponics, we would love to hear your valuable feedback on Google, Facebook, as well as on our YouTube channel. So any more further queries, if anyone have, we could resolve it for 4 to 5 minutes. We have 4 or 5 minutes available. Then if any particular doubt you have, we could solve it on our WhatsApp chat.
Is it necessary to use coco pit with microgreens, or
Yeah,
without coco pit also we can
without coco pit,
grow?
you can hydroponically you can grow microgreen. You need to use 2 tray. One tray which has a netted tray, like the bottom will be the netted bottom, that will be dipped inside your water. You can use it hydroponically as well without using coco pit.
So can you show some photos or share some photos on WhatsApp group so that
Definitely,
we can?
I'll share.
Okay, sir.
We'll be coming up with a good session on microgreen as well, if we get a good number of participants interested in learning about microgreen, because microgreen is very much easy and very much simple to grow. You can easily grow it in home, in normal,
But
even small setup.
sorry for the commercial value of it. I'm not sure how far the industry is up and running for the greens.
Yeah, microgreen, people are very much not adopted to not adopted to purchase microgreen because it cost much. Like, for 60 rupees, 80 rupees, we need to just provide 100 gram or 120, 150 gram. Why? Because we need to use large amount of seed in it. Microgreen, we have to supply large amount of seeds. That's why the cost goes up, and people don't know about the benefit and importance of microgreen. They just see the costing. 100 gram you are providing at rupees 60. How much costing? This is not advised. We don't purchase it. This is the mentality. But if we if we provide sufficient knowledge to the people, they'll be good enough to purchase in future. Like, Delhi, Mumbai, Delhi, Hyderabad, and Bangalore side, people are more aware, and they are even using microgreen in their normal routine, normal salad. They are using it. So it has a business, but it will boost up in coming years. Okay, so how was the session? Like, if I get some feedback from some of you, it would be very effective for me. Like, it will definitely motivate me to come up with such session in future as well, with different topics.
Yeah, my personal view is, yes, it is very much informative, and the way how you took was very slow, clean, and clear. It shows your experience as well, so much appreciated on that. And I think we I would really appreciate if we can have more sort of webinars so that we can touch the
I guess.
basics
Okay.
more clearly and more strong, so that once as you did mention, to fishing is better than giving the meal, right?
Yes, of course.
So once we are strong, thank you very much for that.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Keep going.
Anyone else wanted to just give some feedback? Like if it is a negative feedback, I'll appreciate it, because it will definitely correct me for the upcoming session. If you need any correction, any sort of thing, you can just tell us.
It was absolutely fine, sir. And the one question was which topic you would like to discuss. There are many options. So all the options you should cover, I think. So that would
Yes,
be very.
I have given some sort of 5 to 6 options in a feedback form. Just you can pick one which you wanted to learn. I'll be coming up with definitely a good session.
No,
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
go with what Yogesh was mentioning. So all the 4 or 5 topics were
Yes,
more
yes, yes.
curious.
I would like to learn all the four.
Yeah, all
So
the four.
unfortunately, we could only select one. Yeah.
Sir, this webinar will be. This is a series of webinars, so don't worry. We'll take one by one session, and all the top 4 topics will be cleared. Just it will take
Yeah.
some time. It will take some time, because
Yeah, sure.
I also need some time to make the presentation, as well as I have some other work as well. So it will take some time, but definitely we'll come up with a good session.
That's great.
Yeah, microgreen was also good, and but we should know the basics. And like what sir said, he had grown up for a fodder, like, for the cattle, and it had fungus on it.
Yes, yes,
So
yes. Yeah, I'll be discussing about the problems, challenges, and remedies. Everything we'll
yes,
be discussing.
yes, sir. Thank you. Thanks a lot, sir.
Anyone except these two wanted to just say something about the webinar? Okay, someone have messaged that very wonderful session, very informative. Keep doing such things. Thank you. Sayyad is saying, I would appreciate it if you do a presentation on microgreen. Will be coming up. We are planning to take a next webinar approximately in the end of April in microgreen. We'll be discussing about how to build your own microgreen, and all aspects of microgreen. Then Jennifer is from Malaysia. Love this session. Okay. Thank you, Jennifer. Okay. So we'll end up this session. I request everyone to just give your valuable feedback on Google, Facebook, and YouTube, and just I have shared you the feedback form. I would love to just read your feedbacks there. Okay. We'll end up this
Yes,
session. Okay, sir. Okay,
yes,
everyone.
sir.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining the session. I was really appreciated. I was really very happy that
Thank you.
a big people have joined this session. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thanks a
Thank
lot.
you.
Have a nice
Thank you.
night.
Bye. Bye bye. Good night.
Good night, everyone. Good night.